welcome to the show! I'm Wolfie Bane, your host for today, and we are back playing, well, talking, but doing another Pokemon type tier list today. How day, a fantastic day, fantastic time, fantastic evening, and a fantastic life right now, everybody. I'm back, I'm here, I'm ready to play some video games, or at least talk about some. Hey, it's been a little bit since we've done one of these, isn't it? Mostly due to, a stream that I wanted to watch last week, causing me to not do it. This is the one that was supposed to be on that week, so yeah. First of all, let's get the one little entertaining new announcement out of the way. So, we have new bit alerts on here. If anybody puts any bits in, assuming that my Streamlabs doesn't break again. They should being the priority word, be all fun new ones. Just checking. Yeah, in theory, at least. In theory. If that is... yeah, I believe... that should have worked. Fingers crossed, at least. Don't put in, like, an actual amount, basically. Like, one bit has a unique... basically, each value should work. If it isn't, then it's something broken, because I didn't change the default. But... I changed it for basically 1 bit, I think it's 1 bit, 100 bits, 1,000 bits, 5,000 bits, and 10,000 bits. All should have their own bit alert, and in theory, it should do the interim ones. I'm not 100% on that. If it isn't, I will spend the rest of the evening today, 1, crying, and 2, editing the other one to have it be something. But yeah, in theory, it should work. So if anybody wants to donate any bits, there should be ones. Also, I have a new updated one for the stream raid, I believe. I think I got it for the raids. Yes, it did. It did do it. Making sure I've got it all done correctly. Yeah. Yeah, haven't done any charity donations or anything, but... yeah, it should all work. So, yay! So there's that. In addition, we're doing a Pokemon type tier list today, yes. We are doing grass types. Grass types. So grass types have always been a strange one for me. So, I've never been... okay, this is a weird one. I am not the biggest user of grass types. Grass types are my second choice for starters, usually. As in, there is at least in one generation a grass starter I will pick over the fire starter. Admittedly, it's well known that I dislike Infernape significantly, and I really like Torterra. So, that is the main reason. But it is actually a gen. There is at least one gen that I will pick the Grass Star over the Fire Starter, right? I am usually a user of fire types. I am not a particularly big user of grass types. There's a couple of gens where I'll have a grass type, but the vast majority, I don't really use them. Like, they're good. Grass types are very good. And there's a lot of grass types I really, really like. Yeah, finally the grass tier list. We're getting close to the end. We're on the final 4 types, I believe, that I haven't done yet. The 2 other starter types are in these ones. So yeah, grass types are absolutely fantastic. They are very, very, very strong. Oh yeah, by the way, the bit alerts have been updated. So in theory, provided nothing breaks again, there should be unique bit alerts now. Electric type will be last, yeah. My least favorite type is going to be the last on the list to do. But I do like grass, psychic, and water, which are the other 3. Yeah, grass types are very polarizing for me personally. The vast majority of grass types are, I either love them or I forget they exist. That's genuinely a lot of grass types for me. By the way, we are on another one where we have an E tier. There is at least one grass type that I absolutely despise. But weirdly, because grass types are the most... I'll go with grass types are probably the most forgettable type for me. It's between grass and water. It's why the grass and water are, like, 2 of my, like, on types. Because the grass types I like, and the water types I really like. And they are some of my favorite Pokemon. But the ones I don't like, I either forget about them, or actively dislike them. But genuinely expect a lot of mid and a lot of very, very high ranks. There's going to be a lot of S in grass types. There's going to be a lot of in grass types, and there's going to be I think there's going to be quite a few that I dislike. But I'm imagining there's not going to be that many in it. I'm going to have a hard time, I think, figuring an A Pokemon out. S tiers, I know what S tiers. I know what grass types I like in S tier. It's going to be really interesting. In fact, grass type is one of the types that I have a hard time deciding what's my favorite. Genuinely. That's quite a unique one, as far as types go. Because with most, I've got it, like, down to a couple, right? Like, fire types, obviously it's Charizard. I have 3 favorite, I have, like, 2 favorite dragon types, to be fair. Dark type, I have a couple, but... So there's usually I can get it down to, like, a couple of them. Like, 2 or 3, usually. Grass type? There's a lot of grass types I absolutely adore. There's a lot. And I really mean a lot. So we're going to have a very, very interesting time with this one today. Anyway, for the tier names, as... Oh, I will reiterate once again. If you haven't seen any of my very biased... the Dragon Tamer, ranks Pokemon in their type categories. You should know that basically the tiers for me are S, usually through D, can go to E, occasionally will go to F. And with those types, with those tiers, there is a set. S tiers are the best of the best of the best of the best of the best. A tier is very, 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 very good. Usually just short on S tier. Like, I really like them on, but I wouldn't consider it an S tier. B is good. Like, it's a good mon. I quite like it. Like, I've got a fondness for it, but it's usually not in the deserving of a better one. But I wouldn't call it, I would call it above average. I would put B as a fair bit above the average. C is my average bar. I will, if any Pokemon goes into the C tier, it is an average Pokemon. I do not have any strong feelings about it quite often, or I consider it as just It's alright. It's alright. Don't particularly like it, don't particularly dislike it. Just gets a C. D is bad. I actively dislike any Pokemon that goes into the D tier. And the E tier, in this one, we have an E tier. E tier as I really dislike it. Like, D is I don't really like it that much, but I don't hate it, but it's just I don't like it. E is, I actively hate this mon. If I ever put, there's a couple of times, I think I've done it once so far, and we're going to get one in the future. We're going to get F tiers. Yeah, there are F tier Pokemon exist, and those ones I really, really dislike. E is I actively hate this mon. And F tier is, I hate this mod so much, I don't think that the other mons I hate are brought up a tier because I hate this mon so much. That is the tiers that I do. And for this one, I decided to go, because we're in grass type, I went to types of tree. So S tier is Sakura trees. So Sakura trees, not the character, never watched Naruto, not a big Naruto fan, I don't really care. But Sakura trees are beautiful. I love Japanese, the Japanese cherry trees, I believe. They are absolutely gorgeous. And it's an S tier tree, so it deserves it. A is Acacia. We're going for Acacia, or Acacia if you watch Hololive's Bales Heikos from Hololive EN. But it's an Acacia tree. Acacias are pretty cool. Big spiky tree from Africa. Baobab, I always liked the word Baobab. And they're big cool trees. I always liked using them in Zoo Tycoon, of all things. Another giant African tree. If anyone knew Zoo Tycoon from back in the day, I always used to put, like, literally the Blue Fang, really old one, which is the one I played. If anyone remembers that game. I used to love having Baobab trees in that game, so. Yeah, that is that one. C is conifers. I quite like conifers overall. Conifers are pretty cool trees, but there's a lot of different types of conifer, so I didn't really like. I had to put it at average because they're cool, but there's a lot of different ones. D was Douglas fir because I had a really hard time finding a single tree that began with a D. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't find many. Apparently, there's not that many types of trees. There are a couple types of tree that begin with D, but this was one of them. I found like 3, and I couldn't think of any, so yeah. You may be putting extra work, so you get the D tier. And E tier, I put eucalyptus. It's eucalyptus. It smells weird. It is poisonous. It's kind of just all around. So it gets the E tier. Also because it begins with E. So, let's start with the OG, the original Pokemon, the number 1. Bulbasaur. If I don't do the entire line for this one because they're fine. Bulbasaur is fine. That's exactly what I will call it. I do not have very... I think it's cool. Like, Bulbasaur is objectively, like, it's cool. All the Gen 1 counter starters... I've talked about them a lot. All the Gen 1 counter starters are some of the best Pokemon ever. Just they are. Right? There is no actual wrong choice for them. You can like what you like. Charizard's by far my favorite, and I think objectively the correct choice. But they're all good. Right? Any starter you pick in Kanto is good, and I don't think you'll ever be unhappy with Bulbasaur, Squirtle, or Charizard. Bulbasaur, Squirtle, or Charmander, they're all good. But Bulbasaur, I think, is my least favourite of the 3. The big grass frog. I bet they're fine, though. They are fine. And I don't dislike them at all. So. But I will be giving these, I think, Bulbasaur is an A. The Bulbasaur line's an A. Right, in grass. Like, they're the OGs. Give them Mega Venusaur and G-Max Venusaur their dues. They're fine. I think I like Bulbasaur the best out of them, honestly. I'll have to put Ivysaur down to B, because it's not quite as good. Yeah, they're fine. Right, they are fine. And they are good. Like, that's the bit. They are actively good, and I do like them. But I've always got a bit... This is a bit of a weird one for me. I have a bit of a personal... I don't like using starters that much. Weirdly. As I've gotten older, Star Pokemon are objectively good mons. Like, they are. And everyone knows what they do. They're very straightforward, and they're all very good. Even the worst starters are decent mons. But I've never been a... I don't really like using them that often. I will quite often go to something different. Even if I actively like them, I quite often just won't use starter Pokemon. There's a couple that I just can't help but use. But yeah, it's just weird. I guess because they're so straightforward and simple, like, I like them. But there are other mons that do different things, just a little bit more wackily. Really? I don't know. It's always been a bit weird. But, hey, I like Bulbasaur. What can I say? And the whole line's good. We are getting to Oddish, the first S tier. Everybody knows I love Oddish. Gloom is C. It's fine. Vileplume, though, is also S tier. Lower than Oddish, though. I love Oddish. I talked about this so much. I gushed about this mod in Poison types. This is the reason why Bulbasaur and Venusaur have never been even a consideration, really, in my Kanto run. Because I prefer Oddish and Vileplume. I've talked about this so many times, that I love Oddish and Vileplume so much. Every time I go through Gen 1... I will have an Oddish on my team. And I will evolve it into a Vileplume eventually. It's really solid. It just is. I quite often effectively end up using it. By the way, I forgot to go out and buy Coca-Cola today, just so. So there's a tiny bit left. But mostly I'll be drinking water today. I love them. I want to do another Pokemon run at some point soon. Genuinely, I really do. I've got the niggling urge to do Pokemon again. I've had it for a while. And every single time I go through Kanto, except in the Monotype run, I will say. If I'm going through Kanto on a fairly normal run, I will have a Vileplume on my team by the end. And it will get there from the beginning of the game to the Elite Four. I genuinely love this mod so much. It's good. I like running it. It's fun mod to run. It's very good. It hits the same kind of role that Venusaur does for me. But I prefer it. I like its design better. I think Oddish is so unbelievably cute. And that's actually a thing that you'll see as a thing going forward. Quite often in grass type, cuteness wins out. To a very extreme degree. In grass types. So many grass types, I think they look very cute. And Oddish is a prime example of that. I genuinely love it. Onion is the name of my Oddish. Always has been. I just like it. Onion the Oddish. Such a cute little thing. And yeah, I genuinely love Oddish. So, yeah. Always happy. Paras and Parasect, I don't really have... I kind of dislike them. They've got a cool idea. I will give them that. They're just bad, right? They are one of the worst typings in Pokemon. Genuinely. Grass Bug used to be objectively the worst typing in Pokemon, if memory serves, in actual Gen 1. Because I think Bug didn't resist poison. I think it was weak to poisons. We had, I think, Paras very briefly. And Paras and Parasect, I think, were very briefly the only Pokemon in existence that had, I think, 3 quad weaknesses. Genuinely. It's just not a good typing outright. It's very bad. And the mon's fine. Like, it's got Spore, but it's slow and kind of squishy. It's not really got anything going for it besides it's a weird mushroom crab. It's cordyceps, I believe, as well, is kind of its vibe. It's neat. If you like Paris, you like Paris, right? But, I don't really like Bellsprout or Weeping Bell. Victreebel, though, Victreebel, you get to beat it. I have a bit of a soft spot for Victreebel. It's pretty good. And I kind of like its design. I also remember so fondly Victreebel in the Pokemon anime just eating James a lot. Oh yeah, also, I'm a little bit lower energy today. Just if you hadn't noticed. Yeah, I'm just a bit tired. A bit tired, a bit hungry. I'm getting takeout for myself tonight. So, we'll figure shit out. But yeah, Victreebel is pretty cool. Nothing too crazy, but it is just a fun mon. And I'm not upset, really, using it. It's kind of the glass cannon version of Vileplume is always what I've seen of it. It's significantly faster than Vileplume, particularly in the sun. Chlorophyll mon. It's basically, I think Victreebel is like the most budget chlorophyll mon you can get, right? I'd say if you were to do a run of Pokemon, I also know people that love Victreebel. They love using Victreebel so much, which I get. I'd say Victreebel's only way to make it okay is chlorophyll. Is like really spec into chlorophyll with it, and I can certainly see it doing some work, right? But there are way better chlorophyll mons for me. There are so many mons. I actually think that, weirdly, I think a lot of Kanto mons have chlorophyll for them. I think, I'm pretty sure Vileplume gets it, Venusaur gets it, and Victreebel gets it. I believe the one that does chlorophyll the best is Venusaur. Vileplume, I'd rather use Effect Spore, I think, with Vileplume particularly, because Vileplume is already super slow, and even with the chlorophyll boost, it's probably not outspeeding anything. So, yeah, but Vileplume's a bit of a tank. So is Venusaur, to be honest, but you can run its Sun super fast with the Sun. And I think Victreebel is genuinely the most just budget option, right? This is an okay mon that can be a powerhouse in the sun. But it's a bit glass cannony for me, and it's cool, it's fine. I also think Victreebel looks delicious. Am I the only person? I'd eat that. I'd eat that mod. Hisuian Voltorb and Hisuian Electrode. Real weird one. Very cool idea. I love that they went for old-fashioned kind of Pokemon. And they went to ancient Pokeball made of wood, and it's like, it's a cool vibe. And also, it is a Hisuian mon. All the Hisuian mons are really, really cool. Electric type, which is fine. I've said before, I don't actively dislike the type electric. I think a lot of electric mons are pretty just meh, which is why it ends up being my least favorite type. But I will say I don't think Hisuian Voltorb and Hisuian Electrode are bad in any way. I think they are both pretty cool, and I'll put them in B tier. They made a pretty bad Pokemon at least have a consideration to be used, right? Like, I wouldn't say anyone is like, oh, I'm super down, like, Hisuian Electrode, want it on my team immediately, this is my first pick mon. I don't think anyone's doing that, but I can see people going, I'll be happy with that, like, I'm not upset getting it on my team. Like, it's the kind of thing, you wouldn't be super sad getting it in a draft, right? In a draft pick Pokemon League, I don't think you're upset to get Hisuian Electrode. right? It can do some damage. It's very fast, obviously. It's got the Electrode thing, which is one of the fastest mons in existence. I think it might be the second fastest base... I think it has the second highest base speed of any mon. Don't quote me on that. Just want to check. The fuck it did. It took me to the Gen 6 decks. Okay, it's the third fastest. It's the third fastest, and it's tied in that category. With 150 base speed. I actually thought it was 170, but I guess not. Yeah. Electrode, and his Swing Electrode, Deoxys, non-speed Deoxys, basically, and Calyrex Shadow Rider are all 150 speed. It is only beaten, for reference, by Deoxys Speed, which was 180, and obviously Regieleki, which is the fastest base speed Pokemon in existence with 200 speed. Right. So, yeah, it's very fast. And it's cool. So. For the next one, Execute. I genuinely have no opinion on this Pokemon other than... I'd say this mon is probably the most likely mon to be forgotten in Gen 1. I would give it that title. I don't think it's particularly bad. I believe Executor is very good. But Execute is very meh. Executor itself, though, I actually don't mind. It's fine. I'll put it about here. I prefer it more than Ivysaur, I think. But yeah, I don't think I'm upset. Like, Executor's cool, right? It's a Psychic type in Gen 1, which is always good. I've never particularly used Executor, but it's not bad. And there's Dragon Executor, which I give it its credit. I do prefer it to regular Executor. I wish it wasn't a Dragon type. I get why it's a Dragon type. It's dumb. It's probably my least favorite Dragon. Or one of. Actually, I think I said it's my least favorite Dragon. It's definitely down there on my list. But I don't think it's bad. Particularly, so I'll give you 8 here to Dragon Executor. I'm coming around to it, partially because Dragon Hammer is just a cool one. You can do some cool things, I think, with Alolan Executor. Like, it's fun. It's a very weird mon, but it's got that a little bit of wackiness that I kind of like. I actually don't know. Does Executor get Chlorophyll? I'm not sure. I actually don't know what normal Executor's ability is. I believe it gets Harvest, right? Yeah, there it is. Executor Pokemon. Regular Executor. It does have Chlorophyll. Yeah, I thought it did. Yeah, a little Executor gets Frisk, which is terrible. But regular Executor with Chlorophyll definitely is alright. I believe it's slow is the problem, though, right? Yeah, it's not fast. 55 base speed is very slow. Oh, you actually got a stat buff in Gen 7. What did you get? Oh, a bit better special defense. Fair enough. Yeah, Executor's got kind of like weird bulkiness. And it's got 125 special attack. It's not bad. It's got the same special attack as Hydreigon. So, yeah, it's not a bad one. Not a bad mon at all. And yeah, Alolan one basically trades out some durability for physical. It's not bad. They're both fine. But I wouldn't really... I wouldn't particularly use either of them on a team. But again, they got the same kind of thing in a draft. Though. It's like, I wouldn't be crying. They're fine. There's better mons in both of their types, right? Hell, there's better mons in their types in the same games as them. I don't think there's any psychic grass types. Well, there's better psychic types in Gen 1. There's better dragon types in Gen 7. So, Tangler, I have a soft spot for Tangler. Tangler, you are getting high B. Tangler's getting high B tier. I don't know why. It's just a little goof. I have never used Tangler particularly. I would genuinely like to. I'd be kind of down to use Tangrowth in a run at some point. If I get grass in any of the gens in the Monotype run, and Tangler's on the table, I'd kind of be down to use Tangler. Tangrowth's cool. I've never used them on, but it is a very cool Pokemon, just in general. Very physically bulky, that's all I really know about it. It's a physical tank. Yeah, it's cool. I kind of like it. I'd kind of like to run one in Pokemon with Assault Vest. Because obviously, that's what I like doing on, like, low special defense mons, which have good physical and, like, decent offensive stat, is to run them Assault Vest. Because it's kind of neat, right? Yeah, it's cool. I quite like Tangler. Okay, Chikorita's S tier. Gotta be honest. Yes, it is probably the worst starter Pokemon of all time. Please give Meganium some love. I will also give Bayleaf and Meganium A tier. But I genuinely like this mon. Honestly, I do. I have used Meganium, and it has done some work before. Genuinely. I have had this thing, and it's been a fucking brick wall. You can make it work. It needs some love. Please, Nintendo. Just make it better. Honestly, it doesn't really... The thing that Meganium's got, I believe it is the lowest statted of any starter. And it doesn't have a specialty. That's, I think, it's got a mediocre ability. It's got Leaf Guard, if memory serves. It really should have Chlorophyll. I think Meganium makes more sense to have Chlorophyll than Venusaur. I would personally have switched him. For abilities. Because Venusaur is more, like, bulky tank to me. And Meganium should be, like, fast, hard hitter out of the two, but it just kind of doesn't. Yeah, Meganium just doesn't really have a specialty. It needs... Okay, I've said before, I really would like it if Meganium is the regional starter for, Legend ZA. Genuinely. I would love it. Meganium deserves it. It's a fun mon, and you can make it work. It just takes quite a lot to make it work, but you absolutely can make Meganium work. But Chikorita and Bayleaf are so cute. And I love them in the anime. They're one of the most memorable Pokemon from the anime for me. I have a soft spot for the little thing. And it's really cute. Like, what can I say? Chikorita is genuinely... For starters, it might be the second cutest grass starter. First stage. I'm just going to go through again and check. Yes. Yeah, I would genuinely say that Chikorita is the second cutest of the grass starters. Genuinely. And it's not Rowlet, by the way. Rowlet is not the cutest. Rowlet is very cute, but I think Chikorita is cuter. I'm going to be honest, it's very basic which one's the cutest starter. Okay. Bellossom. I do like Bellossom a lot. I've said this before. It's an A tier. It's an easy A tier for me. I like it. I prefer Vileplume. I genuinely do prefer Vileplume. But Bellossom is a cool mon. It's got Quiver Dance, which I really like. Blossom's very, very good. It's much more... I always put Blossom as the more offensive choice to Vileplume. Like, I think Vileplume hits harder, but with the moves you get, I think I prefer using Bellossom as an actual offensive mod. I kind of dislike that it loses the poison typing. I can't... Genuinely, you know what I would have loved? I would have loved if they put Bellossom, or if they make a regional Bellossom, which is Grass Fire. I think that would kind of work. Honestly, I think a Grass Fire Bellossom would be pretty fun, and I would genuinely love it if they made a regional form for it. I don't think they will, but also, if we could get Mega Bellossom and Mega Vileplume in Legends EA, I'd be down. I would be very down. I think they make very cool Megamons. And genuinely, I think if they did that, I think Bellossom could very well be Grass Fire. And I think it'd be fun. Because currently, there are 2 Grass Fire types in existence. And one of them is technically a form. So yeah. Give us Mega Bellossom. Hop up through Jumpluff. They're fun. I again, a bit of a soft spot for them, mostly for having a shiny. I don't really like Skiploom. I think Skiploom's kind of mediocre, design-wise. But, Jumpluff I like. I'll put Jumpluff up there. It'd beat it. Jumpluff's fun. A couple of friends are quite aggravated at how much they like this Pokemon. So, in the monotype runs that we did ages ago, in Kanto, someone got Flying as their type, and someone got Grass. Both of them learned how fucking terrifying Jumpluff is. They both use Jumpluff. The Jumpluff on the Flying team beat the Fire Gym, for reference in Pokemon Mo. Not kidding on that. They did beat the Fire Gym with a Jumpluff, largely because their Gyarados could not take a Wild Charge from an Arcanine or a Rapidash. It had good electric coverage. But surprisingly, it basically outsped most things, because Jumpluff is really, really fast. I also have a shiny Jumpluff. And also, in the Grass run, I believe they've also got a Jumpluff on the team, and it is very, very good. So, yeah, genuinely. Jumpluff is great. I have a shiny one that I caught while randomly walking about as well. I've always said that. It's fun. Sunkern, arguably the worst mon ever. In terms of actual stats. But I don't dislike it. I think it's got a good design. But it's still bad. Let's be entirely honest here. It is, Sunkern is Gen 2, right? One moment. It's not one of those ones they added later, is it? No, it is. Cool. I was literally checking. It's like, Sunkern wasn't one of those, like, babies they added later, right? I have never used it or its evolution. Sunflora, sorry, you're not good. I haven't played Radical Red yet. I've heard in Radical Red, Sunflora's apparently goated. But Sunflora is just... It just sucks. If they give it a... It needs an evolution or something. It's the Mightyena of grass types, but it's worse than Mightyena. Let's be honest. It needs stats. If they give it a final evolution, I think it could actually be okay. But my god, is it just a joke of a Pokemon. It is barely a Pokemon. Genuinely. Its design is meh. And it sucks. It's so bad. Yeah. Sunflora, I think, is the poster child of... Sunflora, to me, is the reason why people think that Gen 2 has very few good Pokemon in it. It's got a lot of good Pokemon in it, for reference. Gen 2 has a lot of good Mons in it. It just also has things like Sunflora. Okay. Now. So I don't know if people know this about me. But when it comes to the gauge on what is the cutest Pokemon, in terms of pure cute, for reference, nothing else, like, effective. Most objectively cute Mon in existence, I would hands down put it to Celebi. Right? Celebi is my favorite mythical Pokemon. It is. It's my mythical Pokemon. It is one of my competing top grass types ever. I love this thing. This probably is my favorite grass type. Genuinely. I've said I have a hard time picking my favorite grass type because there's about 4, all of which are very likely my favorite grass type. As you can see, there's a lot of grass types. But if you had to like come out of nowhere, right, and go, what is your favorite grass type? My brain would probably immediately gun to Celebi. I love this thing. It was my original favorite grass type. I love it in the movie. It's so cute. Celebi is unbelievably adorable. It's painfully cute. It genuinely is. In terms of sheer cute. It's a pretty good mon as well. I have used Celebi a little bit before, and it is a very fun mon to use. I love it. I just love this Pokemon so much. It's one of my favorite Psychic-type Pokemon as well. It's in its own class for me. Celebi is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. Genuinely. I have a really, really hard time picking. It's easily my favorite mythical Pokemon, and it's not close. Which is saying a lot, because I like a lot of mythicals. I think loads of the mythical Pokemon are very, very cute. But Celebi eclipses them. People go, oh, Mew's the cutest. It's like, no, Mew's cute. Don't get me wrong, Mew's cute. Celebi is far cuter. And it's obscene how cute Celebi is. I have to gush about how cute it is, because it is. It is the Onion Princess. It's my Onion Princess Pokemon. I love this little thing. Celebi is one of the Pokemon that if I could go any Pokemon in real life, what would I want? Celebi is on the list of I want this in real life. But largely because of just how it looks. What it does as well is awesome. Like, it can do time travel shit, and it's awesome. But I absolutely love Celebi. Absolutely love it so much. So. Okay, Trico, Grovyle, and Sceptile. Now, I do like this. I like this model a lot. What can I say? You know what? I'm thinking about it more and more and more. I think these have gone down a B tier. But I will be replacing them with Trico. Grovyle, I think, is the best version of it, and Sceptile is the worst of the 3. Genuinely, I think Sceptile... I still like Sceptile, don't get me wrong. Oh yeah, and Mega Sceptile. I put Mega Sceptile significantly better than Sceptile. And a little bit better than Trico. Not as good as Grovyle, though. I like Grovyle a lot. But, genuinely, I really like this mod. This mod actually, because when I originally played Emerald, I will say, my gut instinct was to go for Trico. right? My gut instinct was go for Trico. But I hadn't seen... For reference, I hadn't seen Sceptile or Blaziken at this point. But my gut instinct was to pick Trico. And then it evolved into Grovyle, and I was like, oh, Grovyle's really cool. I really like this. Then it evolved into Sceptile. It's like, I mean, that's cool. Right? Like, it's not as cool as Grovyle, but it's cool. I'm not upset about it. And then I saw Blaziken, and I was like, I picked the wrong choice. Yeah, Blaziken is easily my favorite of the Gen 3 starters, but Grovyle is cool. I will say I prefer overall Trico and Grovyle to Torchic and Combusken, but Blaziken eclipses all forms of it. Blaziken is a really good Pokemon, and it's a really cool Pokemon. Also awesome Pokemon in Pokemon Unite. Love playing Blaziken. Blaziken's really cool. But yeah, Sceptile, the Sceptile line is a fun mon. It's not crazy. Like, you can make it do some serious damage. It's not Unburdened mon. Unburdened mons are pretty good, just generally. You can run it a lot of ways. It's decent. It generally is decent. But I wouldn't put it to be the most busted mon ever. It's just cool. It's just pretty cool. And I will say, Mega Sceptile, I genuinely like Mega Sceptile. Its ability's not great. Lightning Rod, I mean, it's great. It's a great one for Lightning Rod. Before Lightning Rod made you immune to electric attacks. I can absolutely see it, because it's the most resistant you can be to electric type moves without being a ground type, basically. So you could definitely make it work if you were doing, say, doubles. But it's my thought, really. It's cool. It's cool mod, and I do like it. But I just realized something. You gotta go back here. Yeah. I like. We're moving. We're changing some things around. B tier is getting a lot more crowded because I'm getting lately. There is a fair few grass types. I'm going. Yeah, you actually are A tier. Cool. It isn't as lower. It isn't as hard a bar to hit A tier as I was expecting. I can't remember the name of you. I remember Ludicolo and Lombre. I don't remember the first one. The fuck is the name? Lotad, that was it. Lotad's cool, I guess. I don't put them as crazy. I know people do love them. Also, does Ludicolo get Drizzle? I don't think it does. I know it gets Swift Swim. Yeah, it doesn't. Okay. Ludicolo is pretty cool. It always reminds me, for some reason, of the guacamole hats from Despicable Me 2. Or I guess the guacamole hats from Despicable Me 2 remind me of Ludicolo. It's a cool mon. I don't mind them. I think they are pretty decent. They're the good ones. I love the dance, obviously, of Ludicolo. I love that it dances in the games as well. It's just... It's fun. It's a very fun mon. The water grass type. Before Ogerpon, it was the only water grass type. And it's fine. Like, Ludicolo's a fine mon. I would never call it the best one ever. But it's another one of those, like, I don't think you're particularly upset to get one either. Like, I don't think you're going to be super thrilled to get a Ludicolo, but I don't think you'd be upset. And it vibes. I think it's the strongest thing about Ludicolo is the vibes. Genuinely. And I think that really, really... Its design and its personality is really winning out over everything else. In all honesty. Okay. Now for the comparison. Now for the other one in... because I believe these two were paras the version exclusives in Ruby and Sapphire of each other. I played Emerald, so I just had access to both. But C Dot I would put as a C tier. Nuzleaf, I don't like Nuzleaf, and I don't. Shift Tree's not that much better, but it is better. I have never liked this mod, ever. It is. You can make it work, particularly in Gen 9. Actually, it got a significant buff in Gen 9 where it got Wind Rider. Where basically if it's hit by it's immunity to wind moves, so all the storm moves from the genies, Tailwind. It actually gets buffs from Tailwind, but it's immune to offensive ones, and anyone use it on it gives it a different buff. So you set Tailwind out. You can definitely do some work with this thing in doubles with Tailwind on, right? And I certainly think it could be good. However, Shift Tree is just shite. Mostly, it doesn't... It can work. The amount of effort you have to put in to make this thing okay is way more. I don't really like its design. No, it's just a no. It's just no from me, alright? C-Dot, I think, is fine. I also don't like Nuzleaf and Shift Tree. Came from C-Dot. I think they could have done a much better design with an Acorn Mon. I don't know. I just think it's pretty weak. Design-wise. It's got an okay moveset, I guess. It's fine. Yeah, I don't like this mon at all. Shroomish. Shroomish is pretty cool. I do have a soft spot for Shroomish. Shroomish is a good mon, in all honesty, and what's it called is very good. I can't remember the name of this mon. My brain is dying. I need caffeine apparently. What is your name? Shroomish evolves into Breloom. I do begin with a B. My brain kept telling me Bellossom. It's like, it doesn't evolve into Bellossom, you fucking idiot. Yeah, that's Bellossom. This right here. But Breloom is cool. I actively do very much like Breloom. Breloom is got a much higher B tier. In fact, Breloom might be the highest B tier so far. Genuinely love this mon. It's much more a friend of mine's vibe than mine. I will definitely go with that. It's a very, very good mon. It's a bit slow, but you can get... It's got Technician as its ability, which is insane. It gets Technician Mach Punch with a good attack stat as well. It gets Effect Spore, like the baby form, and it gets Poison Heal. So you can run this thing a lot of different ways. It's quite versatile. It gets Spore, which is obviously great. It gets... obviously, Mach Punch is a big one for it. You can get... You can run it Toxic Orb and quite tanky. Just keep this thing away from flying types, right? It's going to get annihilated by any flying type it encounters. But this thing can definitely do a lot of work. If you let it. You can also do... Oh yeah, another fun one I saw someone run, which was, I believe, a Toxic Orb set, was Focus Punch. This is one of the ones that I've seen be quite good with Focus Punch. Because you set up a substitute and you Leech Seed. And you can Focus Punch, Focus Punch, Focus Punch behind the substitute. Because they're either going to switch into it, in which case you might get the kill. Or you can just Leech Seed them again if you're not confident. And then just keep healing, because you got a lot of healing. So, this thing can be quite good. Yeah, you can definitely do a lot with Breloom. And it's pretty fun. Roselia, I like Roselia. I'm looking forward to getting to Roserade later, because Roserade is awesome. But, yeah, I'm sorry, Breloom, you're immediately ousted. Actually, no, you know what? You're not ousted for the top of B tier, because I like Roserade enough to put it up in A tier. I love this mon. I'll get to why I love it more later on. But I do really, really like Roselia. I didn't really use it in Gen 3 when it came out, I will say. But I have used it in Gen 4, and let's say Gen 4 was a very, very nice buff to it. Cacnea and Cacturn, I love these little goobers. Yeah, you're definitely A tier. Cacnea and Cacturn gets higher A. I do prefer Cacturn. Cacturn is another reason why I think Shiftry sucks. Because Cacturn is better in every way Shiftry. It is. You can make Cacturn do some work. Seriously. I also love that this mon can be a Sandstorm team Pokemon. I still want to see a Sandstorm team made with Pokemon that are not rock, ground, or steel types. I really want to see it done. You definitely can. I also want to see... there's also a thing I wanted to see, which was the all-dark-type Sandstorm team, which you can do. Which I think is pretty sick, as a concept. I would, if they all are in Gen 9, which I don't know if they are. I might do that at some point. Or have it be on National Dex Monotype if they're not. And do a pure... dark Sandstorm team, which I think would be quite good because the mons are just good, genuinely. Because Cacturn's decent. Obviously, you've got Tyranitar for the actual Sand Setter. You've got Crocodile, which is pretty good. You've got the king himself, King Gambit. I know there's another one. There is another one. What the hell is it? One second. Let's sort Sandvale. Yeah, there's Cacturn. Is it Sandrush? What is it? I know there's another one, which I'm forgetting, and it's bugging me. Oh, Tinglu would be another good one for it, yeah. Yeah, I think Tinglu's the last one that I was forgetting. But yeah, anyway, you can absolutely make a pretty fun Mono Dark Sandstorm team, I'm convinced. And I need to do it at some point. Maybe tomorrow. Might do that tomorrow. But genuinely, I like Cacturn a lot. It's a cool mon. Genuinely. Swords Dance Sucker Punch is always a very fun thing to do with it as well. So it's nothing crazy. It's not a crazy good mon. But I think it's a good mon. And it's good enough. And it deserves an A tier because I kind of like the design, honestly. Lileep and Cradilly. You know I like these. Instant A tier. Largely, you gotta love... You gotta love, one, a great type. Also, the only grass rock type, again, before Ogerpon. Grass rock is a really good typing, and there needs to be more Pokemon that are grass rock, genuinely. It's such a good type. It's one of the best rock combo types. I'd say the best ones for combinations with rock are rock grass, rock flying, and there is another one. What am I forgetting? There's another good one. I can't remember, but there's another. I know there's 3 really good typings with rock because they actually complement each other very well and cover each other's weaknesses quite well. Is it rock bug? It might be rock bug. But yeah, there's a couple of types that work really, really well with rock, and grass is definitely one of them. And Cradily is a big example for that. Like, obviously it gets Storm Drain as well, which is pretty fun, because not enough people use it. People disrespect this mon, but it's actually a very, very solid Pokemon, and I personally really like it. Genuinely. I wouldn't call it the best mon ever, but you all saw when I did a Mimi Mono Rock team on the rock type. Not in Pokemon Mode, on Showdown, I did a National Dex monotype mono run of all like dinosaur themed Pokemon, and Cradle is not a dinosaur, but it's a prehistoric plant, right? And Cradily was one of the better mons on that team, genuinely. So yeah, people underestimate it. People really, really do underestimate this thing, and more grass rock types need to be a thing. Genuinely, it's a really fun type, and I really hope we get more, honestly. It's also one of the very few types that you can actually make rock good with on the defense. Like, you can actually make defensive rock types very good, with rock grass, genuinely. They just complement each other very, very well. Rock counters flying, fire, and bug, all of which grass dies to, and and poison. And it obviously doesn't hurt poison particularly well, but it resists poison. And the grass type reduces the damage from grass, water, and ground, which all fuck up rock. So they're 2 types that have a lot of weaknesses, but the combination of these 2 together, they cover a lot of their weaknesses. So, very fun. Give Cradily a try, seriously. I recommend it. It's not in Gen 9, unfortunately. But it is a decent one. Tropius, I have a soft spot for Tropius. I have done for ages. I hate how you run it a lot of the time. But I like Tropius. It can be really aggravating, and it's pretty bad as a mon. It's so bad that you have to kind of give it scummy sets to make it usable. Give us a Mega Tropius. I would love a Mega Tropius. Tropius is a mon that deserves some change, I think. The Banana Dino is cool. It's a cool design. I used this thing in Gen 3 originally. I also just realized now how many fucking grass types there are in Gen 3. But yeah. I did have this. This is my Flymon, I think, in Gen 3, which is pretty funny. At least until I got Salamence, and then Rayquaza. Because I didn't put a Fly on my Altaria or on my Flygon early in the game. Okay. Okay, it's time for my favorite grass starter. Oh. One of my 2 favorite grass starters of all time. I will put Turtwig there. Grottle is here, but Torterra is here. I love Torterra a lot. Genuinely. Torterra is a really fun mon to use now. It was pretty bad back in the day, right? I always found it to be solid, honestly. Just keep away from ice types, but I'm used to keep it, like, dodging around ice type Pokemon. But yeah, it's tanky, which helps. I always personally, I know loads of people go run it with Overgrowth because you get that occasion. It's tanky enough that you'll probably get to Overgrowth range and not die from one hit. But I personally always gave it Shell Armor, so you guaranteed survive that one hit. If it's not from an ice move, because you can't get the crit. And I personally would rather not risk the crit. Gonna be honest. Also comes in clutch against things like Urshifu. Weirdly, you can make Torterra hard counter water Urshifu. Genuinely. It's one of the best counter picks I've found to Urshifu. It's bizarre. Because, Urshifu really struggles to one-shot it. And you can get the Shell Smash off. Usually. I don't think... I'm gonna just check this. Just gonna check quickly. Let's go Choice Band. Let's do the Shell Smash Sweeper. I believe it's Shell Armor. Okay. It's unlikely, not impossible. To be honest, you're likely to get Sucker Punched. But, actually, does Rapid Strike run a... Yeah. Urshifu Rapid Strikes doesn't run Sucker Punch, usually. Or at least it doesn't in any of the sets I've particularly seen. Which I believe Rapid Strike is the best of... is the better of the two. This is adamant. If it runs Jolly... it's almost guaranteed to not kill. Yeah, there's a 6.3% chance to one-hit KO if it's Jolly. And if it's Adamant, it has... about a little bit better than 50-50 chance. But because of that, genuinely, Torterra can actually do some serious work even into a choice-banded Urshifu, for reference. That's kind of crazy. And then you Shell Smash and outspeed, and then kill it. So, it's a good mon. It's a very good mon. You can do some work with this thing. And for reference, that's an Urshifu. Urshifu is terrifying. Doubles, it's going to be more of a trouble. But... and you are going to one-shot it back, basically, with probably pretty much anything. Like, Urshifu's kind of tough, but not tough enough to take a max attack. super effective move or just an earthquake from a +2. Yeah, it's going to do some serious damage. So yeah, Torterra, pretty good, and I do like it. I genuinely like this mon. I've said it for ages. I just like Torterra, and it's very fun to use. Avzig gave it Shell Smashing Gen 9, which it really needed. It's just a very fun mon, honestly. Okay, Budu. Budu is very cute. Budu, you're getting up here next to Rosalia. But here's the big one. Roserade. Roserade, I'm giving Roserade in the S tier, genuinely. It's not on my absolute favourites of them. Like, it's not getting into the crazy, oh, I love this thing so much type of grass tiers. But I do really like this mon. It can do some obscene work. I actually can't remember. I don't think it gets Quiver Dance, does it? I think it might actually. Yeah, another 125 special attack. Pretty fast. Like, 90 is kind of fast, right? It gets Technician, which is fun. I don't even know if you want Technician on it, though. I thought it got Quiver Dance. I guess it doesn't. Or maybe Rosalia gets it. Quiver Dance is one of the things it learns. I was pretty sure it did. No, I guess not. But even still, I do really like this one. I don't think I'd ever run it. I don't think I'd ever run it Technician, unfortunately. Because Technician Magical Leaf's not the worst, I don't think. Yeah, I think I'd probably run it Specs, but honestly, Specs or Scarf it. And I think you do some serious work. I really liked running it. I don't remember how I ran it previously. I think I just had a generic like Poison Point or Natural Cure one, and just kind of went from there with fast and high damage special attacks. But yeah, I do really like it. I for some reason, thought this thing got Quiver Dance, but I guess it doesn't. Maybe it gets it in one of the versions of a game I've played. Or maybe I just... You know what? That also, by God, does it make a beautiful fusion with Chandelier. But... in Infinite Fusion. But I've run it a lot in that. I think I've always... I swear it would have gotten Quiver Dance, but I guess it doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. I thought I had Quiver Dance, but apparently not. So yeah, I'd probably Specs it or Scarf it. Scarf Natural Cure probably wouldn't be the worst, honestly, because you switch out and you basically just do a big cure for the party. I can imagine it. I can imagine doing some serious work in natural competitive with it, and I like it. It's a very pretty Pokemon as well. So yeah, Wormadam, I hate you, and you know I do. No, nothing to say. I do not like Wormadam at all. Cherubi, and that thing. I have a bit of a soft spot for these things, and I'm not sure why. That one's very cute, I will say. In fact, you know what? You're getting to B tier on. You're getting to A tier on just cuteness that mode. I have never used this mon to almost any effect. I know it's better than I give it credit for. It's kind of tricky to use, I believe, is one of the big bits. It gets quite powerful in the sun. It's just a bit strange. It's just a strange mod. Maybe you can make it do some obscene work in doubles. But I think it's kind of cute, you know? Also, it's a Sakura Blossom Pokemon, so, yeah. Carnivine, you are a bizarre Pokemon. They need to do something with you, because I think you're just one of the mods they've forgotten about. Levitate is also kind of mediocre on a grass type, but hey, it's there. You're pretty alright. I like Venus Flytraps, so it's just a really weird thing. I'd love it if they gave a Mega Carnivine that was like a Hydra vibe Pokemon. If they did that, I think that would be pretty cool. Or give it evolution. Carnivine is just kind of there. I don't know if it's good or not. It is just one of the Pokemon that exist. That's all I can really say about it. Abomasnow. I like Abomasnow more than most people, I'm pretty sure. I'm giving you B tier. Present Abomasnow. The Mega looks a bit silly. But genuinely, you can make Abomasnow do some really good work. I would call it, it's literally the budget snow setter. Right? Is what I would always call it. Snow is significantly better with a Alolan Ninetales. Like, if you want to run a snow setter, run a Alolan Ninetales. Alolan Ninetales is pretty much just better than in every conceivable way than Abomasnow, except if you want durability against, I don't know, a steel hit. If you want to actually tank a steel hit, Abomasnow might eat one. Alolan Ninetales, it doesn't matter what you're hitting it with, it's dying if it's a steel move. So, yeah. But genuinely, run Alolan Ninetales if you've got the option. If you don't have the option, because you're in, like, you want running, like, ZU and things like that, Abomasnow can do the job. Right? If you really, really want a snow Pokemon, Abomasnow's not bad. Right? But don't... I like them on. I can't give it any more credit. It doesn't deserve more than that. Genuinely, it's an okay snow setter mon. I personally quite like it. I do like running weather teams that aren't rain, because rain can go fuck itself. And Abomasnow is a fine choice. Genuinely, it's a fine choice. It's nothing crazy, it's not particularly special, and you're not going to be wowed by it to an obscene degree. But you want the thing, it's a snow set, it automatically sets up the snow, you can immediately set up the Aurora Veil. It can do okay. That's all I'll give it. And I quite like them on. I don't mind it at all. It's a Yeti Christmas tree. It's a vibe, right? Let's move on. I don't mind it. Tangrowth. I also talked about Tangrowth. I quite want to use this thing. Tangrowth, you're actually going directly above Tangela. I've never particularly used it, but I kind of want to. I think it'd be pretty fun. That's all I can really say. I kind of like it. The weird tentacle monster. Okay, we know we've got an evolution, everybody. We got an evolution. Yeah, about there. Okay, a lot of people have seen me use Leafeon, right? Let's be completely honest. A lot of people have seen me use Leafeon. I love this thing. Genuinely love it. One of the most, if not the most underrated evolution. Leafeon is fantastic. Genuinely fantastic. Give it Chlorophyll. Give it Leaf Guard. Give it Chlorophyll. Give it Chlorophyll. Give it a Choice Band and give it Solar Blade. And watch the enemies fall. Genuinely, it's broken in low tiers. This mon is the destroyer of low tier teams. I have swept so many people with Choice Band, Chlorophyll, Solar Blade, Leafeon. If you haven't done it, if you think Leafeon is the worst evolution, you haven't been hit by that. That's all I can say. It's 110 base physical attack with 125 power stab move, effectively making it about 200 power. It's like just short on 200 power, I believe. With a Choice Band, so another 50% boost, you're running it max attack with Adamant, probably. because chlorophyll makes it outspeed so many things just by default max speed chlorophyll. This is the most point and click mon you can get, pretty much. Also, a buddy of mine loved it on their monotype run for mono grass. Again, they got mono grass. And Leafeon did them a lot of good because it actually learned dig, of all things. But yeah, Leafeon is great. It really is, and you should not underestimate it. People really underestimate this mod, and then Solar Blade cuts them in half. I hear cats fighting, but mine are in the kitchen. Weird. Okay. Rotom. A Rotom Mow. Rotomow's fine. I know people love Rotom in general. The mower is okay. I've never been a big Rotom guy myself. I'll put it B. No, I can't. I can't put you in B. You're going in C. There's a lot of meh. There's a lot of B's in this, apparently. Apparently most grass types for me are in, like, the slightly above average tier. Rotomow's fine. I have never been a Rotom guy. I know so many people that love Rotom. So many people, like, they'll die on that hill and they absolutely adore it. Rotom's fine for me. It's never been one of the ones I've particularly, like, adored. It's pretty cool. Rotom Mow is one of the weaker Rotoms as well. I believe it's the second worst of the alternate forms. It's the you want to destroy water type super hard option, really. It doesn't really do anything crazy. Rotom Heat and Rotom Wash are way better. Rotom Fan is significantly worse, though. I'll give it that. But Rotom Mow is just kind of there. Excuse me. It can definitely do work. Like, it's Rotom. It's still Rotom at the end of the day, and Rotom's pretty good. But it's not great. Shaman! I love Shaman. Shaman, you are getting here. I love it so much. It's so cute. And Shaman Sky is also getting up here. But I like regular Shaman more. I think regular Shaman is cuter. But I do like Shaman so much. It's not great. It doesn't compare to Celebi for me. I think Celebi is significantly more awesome in every conceivable way. But Shaman's pretty cool. Also, I've run Shaman in freaking ZU of all things. Shaman is literally like a brokenly powerful Pokemon in the lowest ranks. Like, it's nothing crazy, don't get me wrong. But you can sweep people because it's still a freaking mythical. It's a very, very powerful Pokemon. Yeah. Arceus, we already talked about this, Arceus. I think you're a great mon, but you're gonna get defaulted to A tier in anything that isn't normal type because I don't think of you as a Pokemon outside of normal type, and I'm just using the best tier list I can find. Now. Okay. Snivy, Servine, Superior. I am looking forward to getting dinner tonight, I'm not kidding. You, objectively, are a awful starter Pokemon. I will state this right here, right now. As a starter Pokemon, specifically, I really, really dislike this mod. To the point where I would put it probably in D tier. Purely for the starter. That's purely for the starter. But, this is a big one. Superior is probably one of the mons that needs its hidden ability more than almost anything else. This mod is garbage if you have the Overgrow version. Utter garbage. Really pathetic mon. But if you can give it its hidden ability, which is quite easy to do nowadays, this mon suddenly becomes extremely good and very fun to use. For reference, Superior is a contrary mon. It's probably the strongest contrary mon as well. Superior is very, very good. You give it lefties, and you run it contrary with Leaf Storm, and you don't need anything else. You can also run it choiced. I will say you can definitely run this thing choiced. Probably specs, because it's already very fast. And you can do work. Never run this thing Life Orb. Never run it Life Orb. I've seen loads of people run it Life Orb. Don't. Genuinely. It's not a particularly good Life Orb mon. Because it sits there and just presses one button. And does damage. The only time... basically, the damage... The 30% damage boost is barely ever gonna matter because of the contrary boosts you're getting from Leaf Storm. The specs boost will do a significant amount, and you're already only pressing one button most of the time anyway. So, yeah, run this thing, specs, Scarf if you really want to outspeed everything, or leftovers. Never run it Life Orb. The Life Orb is not necessary. The Life Orb only does work, like anything notable, in the first hit of the Leaf Storm to get the contrary going. And if you're that worried, just run it choiced for the 50% boost. So yeah, as a starter, this mod is terrible. As a actual Pokemon in competitive, it's very good and very fun. Okay, we got to the Broccoli mon. Yeah, this is why I had E-tier on here. All of these elemental monkeys never should have existed. They're all utter garbage beyond imagining. I hate them. Why are they here? Genuinely. I don't like any of them. They all deserve to be in E-tier. All the other Pokemon I dislike in the grass types don't deserve to be in the same tier as this garbage. Stay dead. Never be added back to Pokemon. Please. If there's one set of Pokemon that should be forgotten forever and never have any reason of coming back, the grass monkeys. The monkey see, monkey hear, monkey do, whatever the fuck they are. The see no, hear no evil monkeys are all utter trash. They should have never been made. Swaddle and... excuse me, I am sleepy. So what, yeah, these things. Leave Annie. Leave Annie and baby leave Annie's. You're all okay. You are Gen 5 bugs, which makes you amazing. But, I've never been the biggest fan of these. Like, they're some of my least favorite of the Gen 5 bugs. They are very good, and I know a lot of people love them again. They're just not for me, you know? So, yeah. If you love them, I get it. They're basically just better Paras. They are. They're like the next set of Paras mons, and they're just way better. But I never call them like particularly crazy. Let's immediately put you up here. Whimsicott. I'd actually put Whimsicott up here. Cottony and Whimsicott. I adore Cottony and Whimsicott. They're so fun and so good. Also, Whimsicott is one of the best shinies. Sorry, I'm yawning so much. I haven't had enough caffeine today. Whimsicott is awesome. Genuinely awesome. I love this thing. You can run it so many ways. You can really build into its prankster. You can run it specs. I've run this thing specs. It's a godsend in doubles as well. But Whimsicott is just such an awesome mon for just all the things it can do. I really, really love it, and if we ever do another doubles draft league, I kind of want to put Whimsicott on the team if I get a chance. But yeah, genuinely love this thing. It's not as oppressively broken as it was in previous versions. Apparently, this thing was a god in some of the older versions of Pokemon. But more nowadays, it's just pretty good. It's still very, very good, to be honest. I wouldn't call it pretty good. I call it very good. Okay. I've forgotten the name of this. I've forgotten the name of Baby Lilligant. Evolves from Petalil. That was it. God. I love Petalil. Petalil is another A tier. Very cute. Very adorable. Lilligant. Regular Lilligant is an S tier for me. Regular Lilligant is awesome. I love using it. It is the Quiver Dance mon. This one I've used a lot with Quiver Dance. Regular Lilligant is great. People think it's bad. It's really not. Regular Lilligant is very, very good. Very good, mon. People call it bad. I've never been able to figure out why. Because it just is very strong. It evolves late, sure. But if you're in competitive Pokemon, it isn't that bad. Or at least it's a late one for you to get the Sunstone and things to make it evolve usually, because I believe it's Sunstone. However, Hisuian Lilligant, my favourite non-legendary, non-mythical grass type, probably. Yeah. I'd say that's a safe bet. I love this thing. What more can I say? Genuinely, this mon is my, it's my non-choice banded version of Leafeon, essentially. So I run Lilligant, Hisuian Lilligant. Basically, okay. So I've run this thing two ways. Two ways, pretty much. Though you can definitely run it in the same way that I run Leafeon, for reference. But I think you're kind of missing out if you do. I'll actually just check. I believe it's better at doing the job. Not quite. It's got lower attack than Leafeon. But it has more... it's even faster, for one. And it gets another stab with... and it gets close combat. So, but I think if you're using Lilligant, you don't want to run it as choiced, because it gets Victory Dance, and Victory Dance is Quiver Dance but physical, basically. It also boosts speed, but it boosts physical defense and physical attack instead of special and special. So I would basically run this thing. Ideally, I'd run this thing Leftovers or Life Orb in a Sun team, where I would run it with Solar Blade, Close Combat, a coverage move, or maybe Defog, but it gets Defog for hazards, and Victory Dance. And I would run it either with Leftovers or a Life Orb, and both would be very, very, very good. Or you can run this not on a Sun team, in which case I would run it with what's it called? Leaf Blade, Close Combat, Victory Dance, and coverage move. But this time I'd run it with Hustle with a wide lens. And that's actually been a very fun set that I've done before with it. You can make it a very fun little setup sweeper, which gets Hustle. Hustle, on almost any other Pokemon, I would go never run Hustle, right? But Lilligant is one of the ones, it's like, it's powerful enough that you can get away with Hustle because it's got good 100% accurate moves and Victory Dance, so it's gonna blow up most of the things it connects with after a Victory Dance. And if the Hustle ever misses, yeah, it's probably gonna die. Because your opponent's gonna bust out a flying move against it, let's be honest. Or they hit it with a fire move on the special side, and it will probably go down. But the Lilligant's probably done a lot of damage by that point. So, and the other one, obviously, you just run it in the same kind of way that you run Leafeon. And you just basically run it as a very fast version of that. Like an even faster version of the Chlorophyll Leafeon. I guess if you're competing with, I don't know, Fluttermane, it might matter. But, yeah. If you're running up against other absurdly fast Pokemon, then I guess you can probably Choice Band it. And it'll be fine. But yeah. Oh yeah, if you don't want to run Defog, say you're in a doubles match, U-turn. U-turn's just pretty handy. Get you out of those bad matchups, right? But yeah, I love Hisuian Lilligant. I talked about it on the fighting tier list, which was last week, I think, actually. Yeah, it's great. Maractus! My beloved! I love this thing. Okay, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I don't know why I love Maractus so much. Maractus is one of those weird, goofy little Pokemon that I can't help but adore. It's goofy, but in a cute way. Maractus is goofy done right, essentially. It's so obscenely cute. It's got good abilities. As well, genuinely. This thing actually has some good abilities. I think it also gets Storm Drain. I think it's Storm Drain and Water Absorb. Hilariously. I don't know why. It's a really weird mon, but I love it. I just love this thing. Okay, God damn. Well, halfway through. Admittedly, I've been delaying and I've been like kind of chill going through this one. Dealings. All the dealings are pretty good. I quite like all of them. They're all very, very cute. I think I put you all here. I remember where I put them in the normal type list. It wasn't that long ago, but they're all fine. The adult form is good. Like, I will say it is a good mod. And I have had some serious success with it, honestly. It gets Horn Leech, which is probably my favorite. It's probably my second favorite grass move, Horn Leech, next to Solar Blade itself. I guess Serene Grace, which is very good. It's normal stat, headbutt as well. It's pretty good, genuinely. Like, Stala's good, but it's never a mon that I'm like, oh, this is the best. It's pretty good. Like, I don't know what to say. It's a Serene Grace pretty good mon, but it's nothing crazy. Shroomish. Now, I'll give you credit. You're here. The Sus Shroom is good. It is. It's a very, very strong, particularly in doubles, mon. It's just crazy. It's a very, very strong Pokemon in general. It's a very, very slow, very tanky, regenerating Sporemon. What more do I say? And I kind of like it. It's got a vibe. Then you've got Ferrothorn and Ferroseed. I will give these things an objective view and not a person decide to put the Evilite Ferroseed in the gym leader teams in Gym 1, and I literally said, that's going too far, buddy. And he went, no, it's not. And then I think pretty much everybody agreed, yes, it was going too far because there's nothing. If you don't have a fire move, which immediately, it's in the grass gym. Probably bring a fire move, but it wasn't guaranteed because of a lot of grass weaknesses. You literally had to bring it, and the entire team was built around it. It was one of the most aggravating things ever. And I literally called the player out for going, yes, this is too far. This is the person who brought an Archaludon to Gym 3, for reference. And I said, yeah, I genuinely think that Eviolite Ferrothorn, Eviolite Ferroseed is going too far in Gym 1. Gym 2, I think, would have been fine, for reference. Because you've got access to knockoff by that point, because you could pick up knockoff for the TMs because of how we did the TM rules. But it's objectively quite a cool Pokemon. So yeah. Virizion, you're a Pokemon that exists. The most meh. I still am convinced that Virizion is the worst legendary of all time. It's just not good. It isn't. It's literally just shittier Hisuian Lilligant in every way. I'm sure you can probably make it work in some way. I don't care enough about it to do it, though. Fighting Grass is not a good type combo, I will say. On paper, it looks like it should be, but it really doesn't synergize well with them. It just doesn't. Flying is of good typing. You're likely to run some flying move, because fighting is a common type, is the main one. And Grass is a common type. Run them together, it just dies. But I will say, Hisuian Lilligant is good because you basically are banking on outspeeding your opponent's Mon and then victory dancing and getting it rolling, basically. It's a very powerful one, you can get it rolling, but you need to get it rolling. Virizion can't really get rolling properly, which makes it pretty bad. Chespin, okay, I'm gonna be honest. Let's immediately put Quilladin in the D tier. It's very bad. But Chespin is pretty fun. I'd put you around here. And Chestnut, I've said that for a while, Chestnut is an underrated mod. Chestnut's pretty good. It's not breaking the bank. It's not one of the best starters of all time. But it doesn't deserve the hate it gets. It gets the hate because of Quilladin. Quilladin is an abomination of a Pokemon, and probably the worst middle stage Pokemon that isn't from Quaquaval of all time. But don't let that go on Chestnut. I think that Chestnut is a cool idea not executed very well, is what I will give Chestnut. I don't particularly dislike the mon. I think it's a pretty cool mon. I think that loads of people hate it, and it doesn't deserve the hate. Again, it's another fighting grass type, which again, it's not a particularly good type combo. But Chestnut is going for a vibe, and it's okay at the vibe. Mega Chestnut, I think, because I'm convinced that the Gen 6 starters are all going to get Megas, right, in Legends ZA. They all should have had Megas. But apologies, I'm just having a cookie because I need something because I'm flagging. I need something. I just got ordering dinner immediately after this stream, so I haven't eaten since breakfast. So if anyone's wondering. Yeah. I think Chestnut, I see what they were going for. I just don't think they did a very good job with what they did. But I'm hoping that Mega Chestnut will really make up for it. They made a grass type that's really good with body press, basically. It's a good tanky mon. Like, on paper, if you think about it for moveset-wise, a super tanky grass fighting type makes sense, right? It just kind of falls apart when you get to flying types existing. So, yeah. But, Outman Chestnut, and Chestnut's pretty cool. Skidoo and Go-Go. Probably some of the most, like, meh. They are good. Don't get me wrong, I've seen them be good. Why Gita has one is beyond me. Gita, you shouldn't be running this mod. To me, Go-Goat is exactly a gym leader Pokemon, right? Go-Goat is exactly a gym leader. It was a gym leader race in Gen 6. And I think as a gym leader race, it's a decent shout. Does not belong on a champion team. Does not in any way belong on a champion team. Gita, what the fuck? Go-Go and Veluza should never have been on Gita's team. Ever. I think Gita should have had... One of the ones would have been good. If you had to put a grass type on Gita's team... If you wanted Gen 9 grass type, you could have put an Scoville on the team, which never showed up on any major battle, I don't believe. Which is a travesty, because it's a really cool mon. Or Toadscruel. Either one of those, I think, would have been a better choice for a grass type for Gita's team. Or even Arboliva. That guy's put something new on the team. Or hell, do the classic. Just put a dragon on your team. Right? Most champions have at least one dragon on their team. There's a reason for that. I think Gen 1 doesn't. Yeah, Blue doesn't. Gen 2 does. Gen 3 doesn't. Because it's either water or steel. Gen 4 obviously does, and most people have PTSD because of Goober. Love Cynthia's Garchomp. Gen 5 does. Alder, I don't think Alder does, but Alder does a Volcarona. So, that's fair. Gen 6 does. Gen 6 has Tyrantrum. Gen 7, Noivern. I believe he has Noivern on both. Gen 8, Leon has so many dragons. And a Charizard. And Gen 9 doesn't. Yeah, so a lot of champions have at least one dragon on the team. Gita, put a dragon on your team. Seriously. Which I think she does in the post-game fight, to be fair. At least she gets a Dragapult or a Haxorus or something. Which, again, better choice. I swapped out the Veluza for something actually better as well, because... Jesus, it shouldn't have been like that. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. Phantom and Trevenant. Yep. You are both very good. I like you a lot. Both of you are going immediately to A. I love these things. I think Trevenant is a fantastic design, and it is a very cool Pokemon. Sure, it's a bit slow, but it means you can run Trick Room. I don't like running Trick Room, but also love it gets Horn Leech. I love this thing. I think it's got a great design, and it's very, very powerful. Pumpkaboo is okay. I'll give it okay. It's kind of cute. They deserve B tier. I think B tier is a good spot. Rowlet. We know where you're going, Rowlet. Rowlet deserves S tier. You don't. You're a bad design. I don't like... I can't even remember its name, and I don't want to look it up. the middle stage. But Decidueye is great. Hisuian Decidueye is also good. I would put Hisuian Decidueye here. I do think it is a downgrade from regular Decidueye. But I think it's a deserving S tier. Regular Decidueye. Where I do think that Hisuian Decidueye is a better Pokemon to use in battle. But doesn't quite... It doesn't quite measure up, I don't think, to regular. But I genuinely think regular is amazing. So I don't think that Hisuian Decidueye is bad. I just don't think it compares to Hisuian Decidueye, to regular to Alolan Decidueye, essentially. And that's basically what I'll call it. Also, yeah, Hisuian Decidueye is in the same game as Hisuian Lilligant. And Hisuian Lilligant is the same type, but better. Little baby. I love this thing. Lurantis, you are getting S tier. Low S tier, but S tier. And I can't remember the name of the baby mantis. Oh, Fomantis, that was it. I didn't even need to look that up, I just remembered it. Fomantis is cute. Very, very cute. In fact, you know what? You go up here in the cute section. Lurantis, I love Lurantis. It's not very good. I wish it was stronger. But it's a fun contrary, man. I think this thing... I really, really think that it needs more moves. I would love it if it had either better stats or more options for moves. Genuinely. Like, I kind of wish that Fomantis got a physical version of Leaf Storm. Right? I think that would be way cooler. It's got good physical attack. It's pretty slow, obviously. But yeah, this thing, it's probably the weakest Contrary mon. But you can make it work with Contrary, and I love its design. I think it just looks very good. These mods, I can't remember your name, and I'm not going to look you up. I actively dislike you. You're bad. I can't remember your name, and I can't be asked to remember, because I'm flagging quite badly. So we're going to be starting to speed through a few of these. Yeah, I just don't really like them. They're not great. They're okay. Like, they are okay. Because they get Spore, I think. But I can't like them. Bonsweet, I like Bonsweet. Say you get about here. In fact, I think all three of you go here. Steenie, I believe it's Steenie, and Serena are all very fun. I like Serena. Serena's a very good Pokemon. Very, very strong. Drop Kick is awesome. Obviously gets Rapid Spin, so it's kind of nice. Great shiny. It's called in a friend of mine's server, the Russian Sex Fruit. Them thighs. But I couldn't remember the name of the Pokemon one time. I just called it the Russian Sex Fruit, and they knew immediately what it was. So it has just got that nickname forever. But I think it's just a really cool mon. It's very good, obviously. In like low tiers. It's just good in low tiers. Silverly, once again, I am not going to rank you properly. You are just a B tier, okay, mon, because you are a normal type that I don't give higher ones. This mon, okay. What the fuck is your name? Delmise, okay. Delmise, I have so many things that I could say about you. You're an okay... I'll give you an okay design. You are okay. I get why you're a grass ghost type. Why the fuck are you a grass ghost type, though? You should be water or steel ghost. You really should. I would be very happy to say water ghost with steel worker. I know it's supposed to be the kelp that's possessed and it's, like, grabbed around an anchor, but what the fuck? This is one of the most bizarre Pokemon for typing and ability-wise ever. It should also have some connection to water types to me. Like, it should, the Steelworker ability it gets should also boost the power of water type moves. It should be called, I don't know what the fuck it is, like, Undersea Anchor or something like that, where it is just, it boosts all of them. Like, if it gave it stab for water and steel, and then always made it lowest on its priority bracket, I think that would be quite cool. But, nah. Taboo Boo Boo, also known as Worst Rillaboom. This is a legendary that is worse than a normal Pokemon. But Rillaboom is broken, so that's fair. Taboo Boo Boo's fine. Never particularly used you, but I know you're alright. I believe you're like the physical Tapu. Like the physical sturdy Tapu, I believe. I know you get grassy terrain. You're cool. You got good design. I've never particularly used you, and I don't know anybody who has, particularly, because I know that Rillaboom is just kind of better. Kartana's great. I love Kartana a lot. I'll put you here. The Origami Katana Razor Blade Pokemon. I love this thing. Very cool. Steel Grass type. Very fun for offense. One of the highest attacks in Pokemon. It just rocks. I just really like this one. That's all I can really say. Very good as an Ultra Beast as well, because it's obviously like geometric polygon kind of shit. I think it's awesome. Grookey. Okay. I'll do it like this. Grookey, you're okay. Thwacky, you're okay. Rillaboom, proof. I don't always give monkey or ape Pokemon a particularly bad spot. I will put you about here. Rillaboom's alright. I am not a particularly big fan of monkeys. But I quite like gorillas. Gorillas are a really cool animal. Gorillas are my favourite type of ape, for reference. I think they're awesome. And I think Rillaboom is really cool. It doesn't, like, click for me into one of the really, really high tiers, though. I dislike it a lot more than a lot of the other grass starters. But I don't dislike them on. I quite like them on. And it's very, very powerful. Like, I respect its sheer might, honestly. But, for me personally, it's not going to be one of the big, like, oh, this is amazing, this is a godly Pokemon. No, it's a good mod, and I like it. And for an ape Pokemon for me, it's getting a really good review. Let's be honest. It got B tier. It's cool. And GMAX Rillaboom is... I think GMAX Rillaboom isn't great. It's a bit over the top for me. But not in the kind of best way. Sure, it's neat. I think it's the weakest of the Gala starters GMAX designs. The Giant Fireball is kind of sick for Cinderace. The Sniper Tower is inspired on Inteleon. But I really like the Giant Drum Kit. It's kind of... Oh, I also will say, I like Rillaboom more when it doesn't have the Drum Kit. I think the design works better without the Drum Kit. Like, in that picture, right there, I think is the best type of image you can get for Rillaboom. The Drum Kit takes away from the Pokemon. I know it's its vibe. It's supposed to be like music drama, obviously. And it's a big part of it. I don't like it for it. I think it takes away from the design, honestly. And it's one of the reasons why it's only a B tier and not probably an A tier. If it never had the Drum Kit, I would probably give it a higher rank. Or it needs to be higher in B tier. I don't remember your name. I have generally forgotten your name completely. Which is sad because I don't hate them on. Gossifleur and Elder Goss. I was thinking it was Goss or something. Gossifleur is pretty cool. Very cute design. I'll better put you about here with Cherub. And I'll put you up here as well. I think you are an A-tier Pokemon. I quite like it. I like seeing it in Pokemon Unite, honestly. And it gives me a bit of a soft spot. Also, Gigantamaxing this thing, or Dynamaxing this thing, because I don't think it has Gigantamax, is hilarious. It's a very fun mon. It's very cute. Yeah, I kind of dig it. Cotton Down is also an interesting ability, which I quite like. Apple. 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 Yeah, I like... I do like, Applin, Flapple. Can't remember the name of the apple pie. I should know. What is your name? I have completely blanked on this. This is quite bothersome. Appleton. Okay. I genuinely like these mons. And the Gmax, I think, is a pretty cool Gmax. I just wish they both had different Gmaxes. They're pretty cool, though. I really hope they get a final evolution each. Because of Dipplin turning into Hydrapple, I really hope that Flapple and Appleton also get a final form in future games, basically. I hope that you can evolve them. Because Hydrapple is an awesome mon, and I really like the idea they went for it. So I think if they did the same with Flapple and Appleton, you'd get some really, really cool things. So, I'm excited, and I really hope they do it. I'd be very sad if they never did. Zarude's... I mean, it's neat as a design, I guess. And the other Zarude mode as well, which I don't know what it's supposed to be. It's kind of cool looking as far as monkey Pokemon go. I like the claws. I do actively like the claws. I like that they went for a kind of scarier vibe for it. And it just look objectively kind of cool. It just... I don't know what it is about Zarude. Something just feels off about it. It's just forgettable, honestly. It's a very forgettable legendary. Regular Calyrex, you're alright, I guess. C tier. Yeah. I don't know what to say. Now we get to Gen 9. Gen 9 has a lot of very, very good grass types. All of these are insanely good Pokemon. I will say, that every single Pokemon in Gen 9 that is a grass type is at least usable. The worst one is probably Scovillain, sadly. But that's due to entirely moveset. Everything else is good. So, yeah, I will preface that. So, little cat, I love this thing. Cutest starter. Where are you going? You're going up here. Yeah. Apologies. Cough, cough. Sorry, that cough actually quite hurt us, main bit. Yeah, okay. That cough was kind of painful. Sprigatito. Sprigatito is the cutest of all the grass type starters by a lot. Sprigatito is one of the cutest starters of the lot. Actually, you know, I think it might be the cutest. I am a big fan of cats. I'm a huge fan of cats and kittens particularly. They're very, very cute. And I just love this thing. Sprigatito is an awesome Pokemon. Genuinely, Skeleturge is one of the best Fire-type starters ever. And I consider Sprigatito about on par with it in term. I consider on par-ish with in quality. I prefer Skeledirge to Meowscarada, for reference. But I would say that Meowscarada is at least a respectable second place, and it got a very close. It is a comfy second. It is one of the best starters they've ever made. In terms of both how good it is, also, I like Florigato. I don't care what anyone says about it. And Meowscarada is on par with Torterra. Genuinely, either one of them can go for my favorite grass starter. Genuinely, either one. I love both of them. It's very, very good. Meowscarada is insanely good. Really, really fun to use. Really, really powerful. It just ticks every box. It's a good design. And I personally like the design. Would I have preferred it if it stayed on all fours? Probably. But I don't think it's bad as a design. The Magician Cat is a cool design. I do wish we got, like, a big grass tiger, admittedly. But, hey, nothing wrong with the furry bait. And I do objectively just like Meowscarada's design. I think it is good. A lot of starters do become vaguely humanoid, and that's just a thing. I don't particularly mind it. I prefer the more monster ones, but I have never been particularly against the humanoid ones, particularly. Like, overall, I do... Again, I wish there were more monstery designs, but I don't mind humanoid Pokemon in most cases. Smoliv, Dolliv, and Arbolive. Smoliv's amazing. Smoliv, you deserve to be there. Dolliv is also quite cute. It doesn't quite have the sheer panic. And Arbolive, I think, is also pretty cool. But you know what, I'll put these a bit down here. I do think Arbolive is the worst of them, mostly because Smoliv is hysterically funny to me. Dolliv is very cute, and Arbolive is a good design. It's cool. It's actually cool, which is weird, but it's actually quite cool. It's got a good ability. It's a good mod, just in general. Seed Solar is hysterical. It's just a good mod. It generally is. Don't know why it's normal type, but hey, fuck it. Bramblim and Bramblegast, probably the least interesting Gen 9 ones. They're fine. They are fine. I'm not a particularly big fan of them, but I don't really hate them. They just exist. They're a tumbleweed. I like the baby more. Who is she? Oh. That just completely stunned me. It took me off the... I don't know what you're talking about. Do I have a ghost behind me? Okay. Oh, I've forgotten the name of this fucking mon again. What the hell is your name? Is it Toads? No, Toadscrawl's the bigger one, right? Toads! Oh, it's Toadscool. That was it. Get on the artwork link. Oh, watermark artwork. She's awesome. Yeah, she's a fantastic person. Go and check out. I don't think she's doing commissions at the moment. Yeah, she made my emote. She's just awesome in general. Yeah, she's not doing. I don't believe she's doing commissions at the moment. I do have emotes. How dare you? It's still on. Anyway, yeah, Toad School and Toad Scroll are pretty fun. It does count. They're pretty fun. I'll give them... there. I'd say a B tier is fine. But yeah. The ability really drags it down for it, because it's basically... it goes last with its moves, but it ignores, like, the cover and stuff, and it's a really fast mon because it's based on Tentacruel, so... yeah. Forgotten your name. My brain is dying. I definitely need food. We'll speed through these quick. Capsicid, that was its name. Capsicid is pretty neat. I will give you about there. And Scovillian, I actually like Scovillian. Why do I have votes? Because I am waiting for her to be available for commissions again. Yeah, and I'm broke as well. So, yeah. Nah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Apologies, I'm very tired. Okay. There is Brute Bonnet. Brute Bonnet is awesome. I really like Brute Bonnet. I'd say Brute Bonnet might be the top of A tier. Bon. It gets it on sheer coolness. Nah, it's fine. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for the offer, though. I am currently very broke as well. And I believe very much that artists deserve to be paid, like, correctly. And I wouldn't be able to offer enough for the commission, basically. Because I am very short on cash. Particularly since I am saving up for a new PC, so I can do streaming better, essentially. So I am currently very much saving up, essentially. Saving up so I can comfortably afford a better PC. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of other priorities I've got at the moment. I need to be able to afford my PC and, you know, eat. And my car and shit like that. Okay, Wo-Chien. Wo-Chien's neat. I'll give it B tier. I don't know. My brain is not working properly at the moment, so I couldn't give a decent bet for it. Yeah, Wo-Chien is awesome. I like it. It's a big-ass snail. Wants to just tank hits and sit there. I like it. Probably my least favourite, the Treasures of Ruin. Will say that. The other three are just way cooler. A significant step down from the other three, but I think it is still very cool. Iron Leaves is awesome. It's everything that Virizion is, but cooler. I'll put you there, I think is a very worthy spot. I genuinely like Iron Leaves. Psyblade is awesome. Leaf Blade, obviously. It's just awesome. I really wish... I want them to make a item, which is basically like a weaker version of Sharpness, the ability. You know, that like, if they give like a 20%, an item that's like a, what would it be? Like a whetstone item, which boosts the power of shot of like slashing moves by like 20%. I would really like it. I think that would be sick. Then you can stack it with sharpness, and it'd be really cool. And you could give it to Iron Leaves. It would be awesome. Diplin! Diplin is my favorite of the Apple first stage evolutions, I will say. It is very cool, very cute. They did a good job of expanding just on the original design, I think. And that helps, because I do like it more. Oh, what the fuck's your name? That is Poltergeist. Okay. Poltergeist is neat. It doesn't get particularly high marks for me. They're both, well, actually, that one is in low B. This one I'd say is in, like, medium B. It's really good, but I've had my ass kicked by it too many times, so I've got a bit of bitterness towards it. But I do think it's objectively very cool design from on. And as soon as they nerf Strength Sap into the ground, I think it'll be a lot better. I think it'll be a lot more fun to play against. They need to nerf Strength Sap, by the way. They do. They objectively do. And anyone who says they don't is wrong and lying. Okay. Now we get the reason why it is completely difficult for me to say my favourite. Grass type. There we go. Ogerpon! I love this one so much. I adore Ogerpon. She's so cute. And she's so powerful. I love Ogerpon so much. Genuinely. Tied with Celebi for me. And honestly, he's really elegant as well. I absolutely adore this mod. It ticks every box. It's perfect. She's perfect. One of my favourite mons of all time as well. Ogerpon, I loved the story beats. I love the vibe. I love the design. I love the power, honestly. She's so good. I really hope we get her back in some of the future games. I think she's only quite as good as she is because of Terra, to be fair. And Terra is going away. But I think Ogerpon is objectively just a good mon. Generally, I think she's just decent. Also, she added extra versions of multiple types, which needed extra versions, so. Because Ogerpon is quite unique in, she's a grass type, and the fire, water, and rock versions of her are the second line, basically, of each of the types. Hearthflame Ogerpon is the second fire grass type in existence. Water Ogerpon is the second water, and Stone Ogerpon, Rock Ogerpon is the second rock next to Gradily. If I didn't say Water Ogerpon is the other one outside of Ludicolo. So yeah. I love them. They're perfect. I adore them. They're so cute. At some point in Pathfinder, I will play a Leshy Hunger Seed and make it Ogerpon. And now Hydrapple. Hydrapple is another very, very good one. I will put you in S tier, just above the little starters, I think. Actually, no, you know what? Above Roserade. Yeah. I love them. They're all great. I absolutely adore these Pokemon. And Hydrapple is a fantastic one. I really hope that Flapple and Appleton get the Hydrapple treatment so they get a final evolution. Deal with. And yeah, this is grass types. There's a shitload of them. God, how far am I have to go zoom out? This is the closest I can get to the full zoom out. I have to go this far, don't I? Yeah. There it is. There's the full one. We actually had to zoom out a shitload just to get it. And yeah, I would say that there's a lot of grass-type Pokemon. It's not quite as polarizing as I was expecting. I was expecting quite a few around the mid. Turns out I like a lot of them just barely enough to get them out of C tier, though. Yeah, grass type's an interesting type for me. As I said before, I love a lot of grass types. All of the S tier grass types are some absolutely amazing Pokemon that I love them so much. But then you get shit like the freaking monkey. So, yeah. But anyway, yeah, I am super hungry. Super hungry right now. As you can tell, I was flagging for about 40-50 minutes. If not, I need to get some food in me. But yeah, this is it. By the way, remember, we have not got an Altera stream this Friday, but the rest of the week should be good and fun. So, hope you guys enjoyed the show. Have a fantastic evening, every single one of you. Keep playing video games. Keep it awesome. You guys are best on Twitch. Enjoy yourselves, guys. Have a lovely day and a fantastic evening. Good night. See ya.